Are you gay? Do you know someone who's gay? If you answered yes to either question, hi, I'm Parker, and this is Parker's Pointless Podcast, where every week I talk about some pointless thought that was floating around in my little noggin. These topics will range from pop culture to film and television to politics and to things happening in my own personal life, all of which I am not qualified to speak on, but because I am gay and delusional, I find the confidence and conviction within me to speak as if I am a professional. On today's episode, I am joined by my borther, my bestie, Miss Yasmeen El-Kurd, as we read some graphic fan fiction of our favorite male celebrities. Buckle up, because this one's gonna be wild. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Parker's Pointless Podcast. It's me, Parker. Y'all, we're on episode number 12. So if you didn't know that by now, girl, I don't know what you're doing. But it's me, Parker, here, obviously. And I hope you are having a wonderful day because I certainly am. I've not been doing my little intro that I usually have been doing the past couple episodes. Sorry, I forgot. But I'll try to keep it consistent. But nonetheless, today I am joined by an extremely special guest, one of my best friends of all time. Here in the studio today is my borther, Miss Yasmeen El-Kurd.
I'm so excited to be here.
Slay. Literally, like, I'm so happy to have you here. I mean, Yasmeen has been asking, she's like, when am I going to be on the podcast? And I'm like, girly
True.
pop. Miss Girl. So let me just give you all a little background. So me and Yasmeen have known each other for a long time. Long time. Like, we were juniors in high school. So to round out the story, I met Yasmeen's sister, Dania, who's one of my besties of all time, my other borther, which I'll explain that in a second. I met her junior year of high school. We did Grease together at Irvine Valley College, slay. And then through doing the show together in the year 2012, LOL, me and Yasmeen then met, and then me and Yasmeen are the same age, and Dania's a couple years older than the both of us, obviously. So me and Yasmeen just got along, and we are just quick friends, and then we've been friends ever since. And we are basically like, I whenever I describe Yasmeen and Dania specifically, I always describe them as like my second family because we're just that close. And we call each other borther because it's like brother, but O and the R are switched. I don't really know what was the reasoning.
I don't either. I think it was probably some kind of typo that was made when we were texting each other.
Yeah.
And our sick ass selves just thought
Yeah.
that was so funny and ran
Yeah.
with it. So we called each other borther since then.
Absolutely. Like when I tell you that me and Yasmeen and Dania, just all three of us have so many disturbed and just like beyond psycho inside jokes that literally make no sense to any single
No.
other person,
Yeah.
but like it makes sense to us, and we just like always are laughing about them. So just that's a basic description of our friendship. But Yasmeen has been wanting to be on the pod for a long time, but she has been very busy. She's a very busy girl because Miss Mama over here, and by the time this episode's out, she will have already acquired her master's degree, ladies and gentlemen. We have a master in the house,
Hi,
Miss Master of Public Diplomacy from Miss USC. So would you like to just expand upon that, like what your studies have been like?
Absolutely. So for the last couple years, as you said, I've been at
Mhm.
USC studying my Master's of Public Diplomacy.
Period.
I am Palestinian and Lebanese. I don't really go anywhere without saying such. So
Yeah.
I give that context because I am studying Palestinian cultural diplomacy. That's where my work kind of focuses on. And yes, so I don't really know. I'm sure somebody's gonna want to ask or maybe have a follow-up question while they listen. What are you going to do? And I have ideas of what I'm going to do, but I am going to take a little break after I graduate because it has been a very, very busy last couple of years. I've been
Mhm.
doing a lot other than school. So I'll be traveling a little bit. And then hopefully by the end of the summer, I'll be securing my big girl job
Getting the
and making that
bag.
big girl money, honey.
Okay.
So, we're just kind of seeing how things are going to go. And yeah, I'm very excited. I'm so excited. So I'm finally here.
Hella big slay and hella big purr. So
Purr.
Yasmeen is going to be back on the podcast in the future, I'm certain. But now that she's a graduate, but the episode will be out. She is a graduate.
Period.
So she has the time to be on the podcast. So she'll be back in the future, but I am so excited to have her here today. And to give y'all an introduction about what we're doing today, I'm sure you saw from the title of the episode and from the intro from the episode, me and Yasmeen are going to be reading fan fiction, which this podcast is no stranger to fan fiction, as we know. I have my Josh Hutcherson fan fiction, which was truly a hoot and a holler. Listen to part 1 and part 2 if you haven't. You can just scroll back and listen to them after this episode. But me and Yasmeen once were driving home from San Diego. We were at the zoo, and we were driving back to Orange County. And, you know, sometimes the drive can be lickety split and sometimes the drive can be miserable. And unfortunately, it was one of the times when the traffic was bananas. And so we decided while we were driving that we were going to read or I was driving, Yasmeen was Miss Passenger Princess.
As always.
She was going to read the fan fiction. And we pulled up some Marvel fan fiction. And when I tell you, like, it was so explicit and so bananas that like I just couldn't even believe.
It was insane.
It was we were
porn.
scream laughing at the top of our lungs and it was just so entertaining. And so I just thought to bring it full circle, we're going to do it here on the podcast today. And let me give a little disclaimer. There will be certain stories that may be a little bit more on the graphic side. And I will give a disclaimer for each of them that will be graphic. If you are sensitive to that, you can fast forward. There will be some that are not as graphic. They're just simply weird. So there are many to choose from. Me and Yasmeen have many celebrity crushes that we pulled from for the stories. And I'm so excited for you all to hear them today. But before we get into that, let's get into Parker's Poppin' Hot Take of the week. So my hot take of the week is this. We need to make it more difficult for people to get driver's licenses because these bitches out in the streets are driving as if they're in the Fast and the Furious franchise. And I'm sick and tired of it because, girly pop, I do not have the time, I do not have the patience, and I do not have the lifeline to be able to live amongst these race car drivers, these NASCAR drivers. It's sick in the head. Not to mention, I've been dealing with some car issues this past week from getting my car got hit, la 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 la. Not gonna get into the details. But it's been crazy out here. And it's because you silly ass goofy goobers in the streets with your like plastic little driver's license need to have them revoked immediately because y'all drive as if this is a race car track and it ain't. So
Period.
we need to make it more difficult to get a license because y'all are sick for that. So that's my hot take of the week. Yasmeen has several, so I'm gonna let her get into hers because I'm so curious as to what they might
absolutely.
be.
So I do have a few. The
Okay.
first being ordering hot tea at a restaurant is not only annoying, as I think you would agree, but it screams pick me energy.
Oh, literally? Abso-fucking-lutely. So me and Yasmeen work together for those of you who don't know. We've been friends for a long time, and then Yasmeen got a job at a restaurant in Long Beach. I was moving to Long Beach, and I was like, I'll get the job first. We worked, and then so we started working together. We've worked together for the past two-ish years. And it's been so fun. Like we are the definition of personality hires. And
Period. Everybody wishes they were us, especially at work, honey. Like, are you kidding?
We're the
so
moment.
Fun. Yeah.
It's so fun. But yeah, so we work together and we're servers.
Yes.
So hot tea, very relatable content.
Pick me. That is pick me. So next time you're out eating at a restaurant and you order hot tea, think about what I said.
Yeah, because it's really just not the tea.
It's
not the tea to get tea.
Yeah.
Unless it's iced. That's a different story.
Yeah, if it's iced tea, that's fine. But hot tea, like you're doing way too much.
I'm like, girl, just drink that at home.
Yeah.
Drink it with breakfast.
It's like, why are you going out to order that?
Literally. I'm like, or English breakfast at PF Chang's? Like literally for what are you doing
at
that
PF
for?
Chang's?
I don't know. I just like, that's the first restaurant that came to my mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
honestly,
like no need for all that, diva.
Period. I agree.
So what's the next one?
What the next one is, hopefully this isn't a hot take, but I have shared this with you and others in the past, and I got insane reactions from you as well. But I think it's extremely necessary to wash your ass after you poop. This is obviously if you're at home. If you're out in public and you're taking a shit somewhere, like obviously you don't have the resources to wash your ass unless there's a bidet. Like that's great if there is. But if you're at home and you're taking a shit, I mean, this is what I do. And like, sorry, TMI. I'm going in the shower and I'm washing my ass, honey. Like as girly pops, like we wear thongs, we wear like little underwear that it's gonna like, you're gonna take a poop and then you're gonna put your thong back on and then all that stuff that you might have not gone out of your crack is gonna be smearing
brownie batter.
Yeah, like that's sick. So yeah, a couple people think that's crazy that I do that, but I'm a clean woman.
A hygienic woman.
It's giving hygiene. So I mean, if you have a problem with that, then you're kind of sick in the head for that.
Miss Hygienic Hussy.
Yeah, hygienic hussy. That's me. We love an alliteration.
Okay. Okay, so what's the next one?
I said that if you don't let your dog sleep with you in bed at night, you're probably an emotional terrorist. So
Listen, Absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm like, why do you even have a dog? Like, that's supposed to be somebody that you love and take care of,
Yeah.
so why are they not in bed with you? If it's, like, a huge dog, then okay, sure, maybe there's an exception, but my dog is 15 pounds, like, she's in bed with me every night.
Period.
So my next hot take is if you don't have designated house shoes or slippers, you're probably a sick individual. And I personally probably wouldn't want to come in your house for that because you're telling me you're going to come inside your house and then not change your outside shoes to a designated pair of slippers and drag all the nasty things from outside into your home. That's sick, baby. Don't be doing that.
Don't be doing that. You
And
know what? I've picked up the house slippers thing from like I mean, before I moved out, I didn't do it, but now that
mm,
I'm in
in
my
your
own
own
space, I
space.
literally am always wearing like I have like designated outside shoes like that at my little slides,
Yes.
and then I have my like little slippers that I wear inside too.
Yeah, as you
So
should.
my
Yeah.
feet are always covered.
Yeah, as they should be. And I do think that once you do have your own space, you start to change the way that you like maybe when I was living at home I didn't
Right.
well to be honest I'm Arab so like that was ingrained in my head from as a
Right.
child like you had to have house shoes on. It's an Arab thing. I'm sure it's not just an Arab thing. I know a lot of other cultures are very
Pro house shoes.
yes, so
Right.
you know whatever. But yeah, I think it's sick if you're dragging the outside stuff in your home. And sorry, like if the shoe fits and you're upset then maybe change some of your habits.
Yeah, if the shoe fits, then put a shoe on.
Yeah, period. Put a slipper on, baby.
Diva. Okay, what else you got?
I said that as a girly pop, like a girl, a gay, whatever, if you're not listening to any pop music or if you don't have a favorite pop artist, it's also kind of giving pick me energy and also like why? You
That is
know?
so funny because literally on the last episode with my mom, I that was my hot take of the week where I was
Oh, it
like,
was?
it wasn't necessarily that, but it was like in lieu of where I was like,
Mhm.
be, mostly pick me, where I was like, it is so pick me to like be a girly that hates pop music,
Yes.
just to be like, oh, I don't listen to that radio music. I only listen to heavy metal.
It's
Where it's like, girl,
weird.
okay,
Yeah, it's like so as a girl, you're telling me, especially in our generation, that like I don't really listen to Beyonce's music. Why? Like, are you
yeah,
okay? Like, at least have a pop star that you listen to. It's like, oh,
yeah,
so you're only gonna listen to rap? Like, sure. I mean, I'm not knocking your music taste, but why aren't you listening to one of the girls? Don't you
yeah.
want to
The
relate?
dolls,
The
like, don't you want to
dolls.
like hang out with the like, ugh, it's just sick.
Yeah, it makes me upset. Like, sorry, maybe I'm coming off judgmental, but I mean it. So
I mean, period. I would literally 100% agree.
I knew
I'm
you
like,
would.
listen to the girlies. And so also I'm
Yes.
like, you and I mean, I don't there are a very select few male artists that I
Yeah,
enjoy listening to. But I'm like,
sure.
if your catalog is all male artists, what are you doing?
Yeah, I completely agree.
I'm like,
Yeah, it doesn't
you
make any
you
sense.
claim to love women, but you don't listen to women in music.
Pick me.
Interesting.
Pick
Yeah.
me.
Pick me doll.
Yeah. My next one is people who drink beer don't actually like it. They're lying. I just can't even comprehend why that tastes good to you.
Yeah, it's kind of sick.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're drinking literal like battery acid.
Yeah,
And you're
it's not
convincing yourself that
good.
it's like fine, like beverages.
And I do really think, like, obviously the predominant like demographic that's drinking beer are straight men, and I really believe. And you know what? If you're a straight man and you're listening to this and you enjoy beer, great. Like, I'm happy for you, and I don't think you're lying. But I think most of them are doing it as a way to prove their masculinity.
Period.
That's my hot take.
Misgender studies.
Misgender studies. That's my second master's, baby.
Okay.
JK. I also wrote that, this is a little bit less of like a silly one, but if you have family members who cause you stress and anxiety and like that you perceive as toxic, it's perfectly okay to not have them in your life.
Period.
Period. Maybe I'm a therapist too.
Ah, wow, she's Miss Multifaceted, Miss Multi
Yes.
Degrees, Miss Multi Hyphenated. Wait, Miss Multi. That's what it is, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, she Miss Titles over here. So yeah,
Yeah.
cut them out. If they ain't serving you, baby, bye.
Yeah. Take them out of your life. Like, gives yourself some peace.
Period.
Period.
Is that the end of
Those
your
are all my
list?
hot takes.
Oh my gosh. Well, I live for a hot take, as you all know. So thank you so much for providing such beautiful, juicy hot takes
Of
for us
course,
today.
baby girl.
I am gonna have a guest next week. She might want to say this one next week, but I'm gonna be here to it
Okay.
because Miss Tatiana Monique Alvarez texted me. She's like, she's like, this is a hot take. Or I don't know if this is a hot take, but whatever. But it's in lieu of the feet thing. She
Mm-hmm.
said, when I am driving and I see people who have their full bare foot
Out the
on the
window.
dash of their car,
Ugh.
that is so disgusting and disrespectful that if I was the driver, I would have I would literally throw you out the window. And just driving next to you, it's disgusting.
No, I agree. That's sick. It's like, what are you doing all that for?
Yeah, I'm like, put those, and she
dogs
said,
away.
Literally, that's what Tati said. She's like, put the dogs away. So like, why are the dogs out in the car?
It's giving rough.
Literally, it's giving like bark Airbud vibes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's sick. I agree with Tati.
So Tati, thank you so much for the submission on that one, because that is so sick and disgusting. So shout out to you, Diva.
Shout out you.
Love you, girl. But yeah, those are the hot takes of the week for this week. If y'all ever have any hot takes you want to talk about, please let me know. Send them to me in my direction, and we will have a little chit chat about all your hot takes. So, without further ado, let's get into the bulk of this episode, Miss Fanfiction, because I am so excited. So, just to preface you guys on what celebrities we have picked, me and Yasmeen, it's been going for a while, but I think it really peaked during The Last of Us.
Mm-hmm.
Pedro Pascal, you guys, Pedro Pascal is just the one.
He's like, you know what? He is the quintessential celebrity crush, I think.
Yeah.
Right? If that even makes sense. Like, he is the moment. He's having his moment.
Yeah.
If you don't think, he's hot or good looking, then are you okay, girl?
Yeah. We're in the Pedro Pascal renaissance.
Yeah.
And it's just such a pleasure to be here.
Period.
And The Last of Us, it's just he's like hot, but also like not threatening.
Right.
But like nurturing, but also like rugged.
Oh, yes.
And then like sexy, but also like slay. So like I just can't quite place my finger on why he's just the one, but he is the one.
He's the one.
So there's definitely some Pedro Pascal fan fiction in here. We also have Andrew Garfield, of course. I'm an Andrew Garfield stan. We got some Spider-Man fan fiction in here. It's kind of cuckoo bananas. There is some, I specifically looked into this one because I was just curious. Troy Bolton and
That's right.
Ryan from High School Musical. That's coming up in here too. And then the final one. So me and Yasmeen are big fans of Ted Lasso, the show on Apple TV. If you're not watching it, you're missing out. It is a great show.
Mm-hmm.
And Yasmeen's love of her life is Roy Kent. And this season, I also love Roy Kent. Let me get that clear. But this season, Jamie Tart, who like in previous seasons was not really the one for me. This season, I'm kind of like,
yeah, you're getting your bag to Mr. Jamie.
I'm like something about it is just so sexy. And so there's going to be some Roy Kent, Jamie Tart fan fiction in there. And just to give the disclaimer again, some of these stories may be a little naughty. Mm-hmm. If they're naughtier ones, I will give a disclaimer at the beginning. So if you want to skip, you can skip. And also, Miss Yasmeen is a professional woman. She has a master's degree. She is on her way to being a multi-figured, freeing Palestine and literally being a fucking multimillionaire. So she is going to be in the business world. So if there's an inappropriate story, I'm going to be taking it on.
Yes,
because if anyone's reputation is going to be on the line for talking about dick and cock, it's going to be me. Because, girl, it's my brand. So with that being said, we're going to hop into our first fan fiction, which is going to be a Pedro Pascal one. I think we should do... So last night, you guys, I was literally researching all of these fan fictions. And I found a fair amount of them on a website called Archive of Our Own, which if you guys have not ever gone onto that website, highly encourage you to do so. There are so many fan fictions of all genres. And it is actually quite insane that this exists on the internet for free, to be honest, because it is absolutely bananas. So I think we should do, let's do the Princess Pedro.
Okay, perfect.
First.
I have it here.
So this is one of a kooky one. I'll let you read this one first.
Okay.
And then I'll read the crazy one next. So this one is kind of like, when I tell you guys these fan fictions, like some of them are just like insane crossover events of like genres that just don't make any sense. So this one is entitled Princess Pedro, and the author is Shrimp Lady 00.
Thank
what
you,
an icon! Thank you, Shrimp Lady. So Miss Yasmeen, please take it away.
All right, so we're going to read, as Parker mentioned, Princess Pedro to begin the fan fiction. It was a normal day in the Mushroom Kingdom. Princess Peach has so much work today. Royal trees to renew, laws to pass. Same old, same old. She just wished something fun and exciting would happen. She thought about paying her plumber friend, Mario, a visit, but she really wasn't in the mood to hear him repeat Mamma Mia 8,000 times. Just as she thought, I'm so sorry. Just as she was contemplating her day, a rumble soared through the castle. Suddenly, she hears lyrics, "Hey, sexy lady," and she sees a man burst through the castle doors. "Who are you? What do you want?" Peach cries at the man. He doesn't answer. Instead, he runs up to Peach, grabs her, and starts walking back to his car, kicking every small toad out of the way. "Oh, the name's Pedro." She just looked she just looked scared, so he continued. "I just got this new VR headset for my iPad. Cool, right? Now I feel like I'm really here." See, the thing is, Peach is actually AI. Hi, AI.
Hi.
See, okay, I lost my place. Okay, Peach is actually AI and she thinks she is real. She has no idea what this Pedro is talking about or what some of those things are. This is like very meta.
I
Like,
know.
slay. Honestly, Shrimp Lady, you kind of popped off
She
here.
ate down on
She
this one.
really ate down. So are you just going to kidnap me like Bowser does? Pedro nodded. Basically, that's the goal of the game, anyways. Right. Game. Since they didn't put me in the Mario movie, this was the closest I could get. Now, Peach was even more confused. Was she supposed to understand anything this man was talking about? So, are you pretty famous in the universe, right? Or so you are pretty famous in the universe, right? I'm pretty famous in mine as well. Peach wasn't even paying attention anymore. The man who kidnapped her just kept rambling on and on. Actually, everyone calls me their daddy. Daddy? What the fuck? Peach thought. Well, she could understand why people would call him daddy. He is very handsome. Peach may be in a very traumatizing situation, but that doesn't mean she can't tell when someone looks good. Mr. Pedro, I suppose I could relate, seeing as all of the toads and toadettes refer to me as mother. Mother.
Mother.
This is insane. Perhaps you can release me and we could share tips on being guiding figures. Sorry, Peachy, no can do. If I don't successfully capture you and make you my princess, then my iPad gets taken away. Who's going to take it away?
I don't know.
I just want to understand. If that happens, then now will I play Merge Mansion? Peach is confused as to what a Merge Mansion is, but she doesn't ask. After a while, Pedro and Peach finally make it to their destination. He grabs her again and sets her down on the drop of point. A huge set of block letters appears in the sky reading "Winner." Peach notices she's starting to feel weird. What's happening? She asks. It's at the end of the level. This is where we part ways, sugar. Peach looks at her hand and sees it's disappearing. I don't feel so good, Mr. Pedro. With a single tear, Pedro walks away into the dark.
Dun, dun, dun. And that's the end of that one.
You know what it kind of gave? Is like
What?
Wreck-It Ralph.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, it was giving Super Mario movie.
Yes,
it was
of
giving
course.
Wreck-It Ralph.
Yes.
And I also saw something on Twitter about Pedro Pascal being in the sequel to the Mario movie. Like someone was like, he should play XYZ character.
That
I don't
would be
remember. I think
amazing.
Wario. I'm not really
He
a Super
honestly
Mario.
should have been Mario, even though I know Mario is supposed to be Italian, of course,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I just think that maybe they could have made him Latino instead because
Yeah.
Chris Pratt is playing Mario, and for what?
Yeah. Remember Chris Pratt's tweet when he used the G word on Twitter?
Wait, what was the G word?
I mean, I think it's I don't
Are we allowed to say it?
I'm gonna say it. Don't get mad at me if I say this and it's a slur. I don't think it is Guido.
Oh, I don't recall that. What did he say?
He said that like in 2014 on Twitter.
Oh, and it came out after he was cast?
And everyone's like, huh, interesting casting when he talks this way about Italians.
That's super funny. Yeah, I'm not sure if that is a slur either, but if it is, so sorry.
Okay, so I'm going to read this one. This one was on Tumblr. Tumblr has some crazy ass shit on it, you guys. So I'm going to read this one. This one might be a little bit. Yeah, this one's a little bit on the naughtier side, but you know what? If it gets crazy, I'll blurp and bleep. But this one is entitled Morning Pleasures. The author is Taylor. Okay, there is no author. Sorry, girl, but we're stealing your work. Okay. And it goes like this. If there was one thing you loved in the mornings, it was Sleepy Pedro. When he was taking time off from filming and he was at home in New York City in your California king bed with his arms wrapped around you, it brought a sense of comfort to you. Snuggling closer to the source of warmth that was your boyfriend's chest, you nuzzle your chin into the crook of his neck. His fingertips are already drawing lines up and down your bare spine that had been neglected of clothing from last night's round of excitement. Legs intertwine together, and a soft hum falls from your mouth. Morning, Mama. Pedro's raspy voice sends a prickle of want to rush through you. Giggling softly, you drag your nails down his back. Morning, baby, you mutter. A slight shift has your hips pinned together, provoking either of you to move to start something. Licking your lips, you kiss his chest. The light touches of your soft lips melt Pedro in a way that nothing else could, and it has him tightening his grip on you. Mi amor, he rasps. We won't be climbing out of this bed if you keep that up. Through a soft giggle, you start to rustle around, lips making their wet path along his chest. Pedro finds himself being rolled flat on his back as your body slips away. Good thing we don't have any place special to be today, right, baby? You cast your eyes up at him just before disappearing beneath the sheets. Pedro chuckles, wrapping his arm around yours. In one swift motion, he reels you back in. Your face inches from his. His eyes are open. And although groggy, the pool of chocolate that were his irises swim through yours. Honestly, the sensory details, Courtney Smith is quaking.
I was literally thinking Courtney Smith. Like
this is giving Courtney
it's
Smith.
It's giving her. Shout out to you, Courtney. We don't know each other, but I really enjoyed your work.
Let me take care of you, he whispers. Sweetheart. He tisks you, shushing you with an index finger pressed to your lips that you lazily kiss and bring into your mouth, earning him to grin. He flips the two of you over, his chest now on top of yours. He starts off by kissing your forehead, lips drawing toward the corners of your mouth where he lingers momentarily. You can feel the weight of his center pressing into yours, and it provokes a delicate moan to fall. Look at me, Mama. He cups your chin in his hand, forcing your eyes to flutter open. His smile widens when he catches the light coming through the windows to hit your face. There's my pretty girl, he whispers, finally pressing his mouth to yours. Pedro Pascal would never say any of these words, or at least I don't think he would. You tangle your arms over his neck, allowing him to explore. Hands glide over your hips, and he slips one underneath your back to arch your hips forward into his some more. His tongue sweeps over your bottom lip, demanding an entrance that you quickly give into.
Oh my God, honestly, demanding an entrance.
A whimper transfers from your mouth to his, an adorable noise that Pedro swallows, and his hand find one of your breasts, massaging it around in his hand. Massaging your breast, it's giving
bridesmaids.
I was thinking it was giving a mammogram.
I'm dead.
Skilled fingertips tweak the sensitive nipple as he pulls it at an erected point. You guys, content warning, trigger warning, graphic imagery coming up. So fast forward if you don't want to listen. A groan escaping his mouth when he feels your gently grind upwards into his flesh. Don't tease me, you mutter in between kisses that had turned fervent. He coasts your collarbone with his mouth, soon enjoying your appeal by wrapping his lips around the nipple his fingertips previously played with, while his free palm searches the land of your body. Strings of moans enter the bedroom, and your lover smirks against you as he comes off your nipples with an audible pop.
Oh my God.
He catches your simmering stare and you close your mouth. Pedro shakes his head. None of that, gorgeous. Don't you stop. I want to hear every pretty noise come from that mouth. Do you understand? Nodding your head, he cups your sex. What? His palm grinding into you. Your mouth falls open and your back arches as the tiniest touch he delivered somehow sent raging wildfires to commence over your skin. And as Pedro journeyed toward the center, he flicked his brown orbs up at you. Not orbs.
Orbs?
Watching as trembling fingers gripped the sheets. All right, Mama, he laughs. Let's see how far we can go. He disappears under the sheets, and soon you're met with the warmth of his mouth.
Oh, my goodness.
And that's that.
Well, damn.
I know. Miss Tumblr really decided to give it to the girls.
It's giving pornography.
I know. You guys, if you're ever interested in, like, reading something that stimulates your brain in like a sexual kind of fashion, I highly suggest you read some of this because it is truly bananas. I spent my February because I had a reading goal that I have since fallen off of. Oops, but maybe I'll pick it back up. I spent my February reading like more graphic novels because I'm like, it is Valentine's Day. I'm trying to
Yeah.
read something a little bit on the I'm a single lady.
Yeah,
I want to read something on the
period.
sexier side. And it, you guys, truly was crazy. So if you're into that, read these because they're crazy. I think you should read The Hold My Wand.
Okay.
You
I
guys, this is a crossover that none of us knew we needed, but all of us knew we wanted. So
I'm
I'm gonna
really
let
ready
you
for
read
this
this
one.
one because you guys, this is truly crazy. This was Hold My Wand by Worthless Writer.
Honestly, worthless, right? Well, girl, I don't think you're about to be worthless after we delve into this.
Okay, period.
Okay,
Take it
so
away.
the air was heavy with despair as students and professors gathered in the front courtyard, preparing themselves and the castle for the inevitable battle against Voldemort.
Hi, Danya.
Hi, Danya. Shout out Danya, my sister. She used to write Harry Potter fan fiction.
Oh my god, the
Um,
through line of everything is fan fiction.
it's
Oh my
a
god.
full circle moment here. If only we could have located her fanfic, but I think it's lost in cyberspace
Yeah.
anyway.
If we
But
ever find it, we'll read it on the podcast.
absolutely. Anyways, every witch and wizard tightened their grip on the base of their wands, anxiously watching as the Death Eaters slowly broke down the ward. Every lesson we have taught you has prepared you for this day, Professor McGonagall announced as she stood before the crowd. Today, you do not represent one single house. Today, you represent all four. You will be brave like a Gryffindor, loyal like a Hufflepuff, wise like a Ravenclaw, and
Me.
cunning like a Slytherin. Students and staff listened intently as McGonagall continued to speak, making sure to keep their focus on her instead of the disintegrating protective barrier in the distance. It has been an honor to teach you all, she said, her voice cracking slightly as she scanned their faces. And it will be even greater honor to fight with you. As everyone on the ground level hugged their peers and readied themselves to fight, a professor and a small group of his students joined Remus, Tonks, and Kingsley at the top of the astronomy tower. Professor Pascal, what are you doing up here? Remus asked as he hugged his former colleague. Lending a hand, he replied. And please, Remus, I've told you to call me Pedro. Remus let out a light chuckle. May I ask what that is, Pedro? He questioned as he pointed to the long and sleek item hanging on his shoulder. A secret weapon, Pedro stated. Professor Pascal has been teaching us about American Muggle artillery.
That's an inside joke for those. Me and Yasmeen love to just make sounds and be crazy, and that's one of them. So artillery.
Artillery. So, yeah, it was really artillery if you didn't catch that. One of the students said as he held up a compact version of the item within Pedro's grasp. How do they work? Remus asked. You'll see, Pedro smirked. Why is Pedro so coy? Like,
He's
damn.
just smirking kind of. He's like,
Yeah, it's like, you better find out. Well, I hope whatever you're about to do happens soon. The Death Eaters are almost done breaking down the ward. I'm just waiting on, Pedro began, but he was interrupted by another. I have what you asked for, Professor Pascal, Neville panted as he held up a small cardboard box. Attaboy, Longbottom, Pedro praised, patting him on his back before taking the box from him. Remus, he called out. Remus stepped forward. Yes? Hold my wand. Once he handed his wand off, Pedro moved towards the railing and narrowed his eyes as he looked out at the mass of Death Eaters on the hill. He scanned the sea of people until he located his target. A bald-headed, no-nose-having twat. Dumping out the contents of the box that Neville brought him, Pedro picked up one of the cylinder items and loaded it into the chamber. Laying down, he closed his left eye and looked through the long scope with his right hand wrapped firmly around the stock, his pointer finger gently resting on the trigger as he steadily adjusted his aim. Once the crosshairs were aligned precisely with his target, Pedro let out a slow exhale as he squeezed down on the trigger. A subtle cracking sound echoed from the sniper rifle as the bullet soared through the air and made direct contact between with the space between Voldemort's eyes. As soon as his lifeless, cloaked body collapsed onto the ground, black smoke filled the air as the Death Eaters began to flee. Pedro proudly got up to his feet and turned to face his students. And that's how we do it in America, he stated. This is too much. Now, does anyone have a cold one on ice? He looked around curiously as he took off his cowboy hat and wiped the sweat from his brow. And that's it.
Y'all.
It's giving American propaganda.
Oh, absolutely. They said the Brits and the states are coming together.
Period.
That was actually crazy.
That was like the Last of Us crossover with Harry Potter.
Oh yeah, I'm like, not a gun in the Harry Potter world. Like, huh? Like these people have magic. Like they can like operate, and you're gonna shoot them. Sure.
Like, okay, sure, but the writing was really good. So worthless writer, like you popped off.
Yeah,
in my
you're not
opinion.
worthless, Eva. You're worth something.
Yeah, I'm like, you should get something published, honey.
Okay, so this one is, I'll read this one. It's called. This is a crossover between the two daddies of all daddies of the internet. So this is a crossover between Pedro Pascal and Oscar Isaac, who, ooh, if y'all don't, I feel like I've said Oscar Isaac's name and people have been like, who is that?
Yeah, that's
Y'all
true.
need to literally get on board.
If you saw him, you'll know him.
Absolutely. He was in Star Wars. He was in Moon Knight. He's been in a
Yes.
lot of movies and films and TV shows. So he's very popular, very good actor, very sexy. Also very short.
Short King.
Short King. And y'all know how I love Short King. It's Short King Spring, so we live.
Short King Spring, I love that.
I know that they said that on SNL.
That's so
I
cute.
know. Okay, so this one is entitled Dirty Laundry, but with Pedro and Oscar, not Andrew, by Y.N. Jones. We started off as best friends, Oscar and Pedro and Oscar. Inseparable as we met on the cast of Triple Frontier. I have no idea what that is. Fast forward years later of bars, movies, and friendships strengthened, we end up here in the bathroom of an awards show. You've been avoiding me, Oscar says, his hands washing in the sink. I meet his eyes in the mirror. They are purposefully looking away, his voice cool and swagger. I know I've been avoiding him, and if he looks down toward my crotch, he will know why as well. Look, I'm sorry we haven't caught up in a while. I've been busy filming for The Last of Us. Please. He towels his hands and he walks towards me, pushing my back against the door. My breath intakes. I stare into his, I think they mean to say lustful, but they say listful eyes. But I'll say lustful. Stare into his lustful eyes. I know he wants me. I push him off anyway and head to the door. This isn't going to work, Isaac. I have needs other than just bathroom sex at a fancy rich people parties. He grabs my wrist and spins me around before I can reach the door. We crash our lips together, stumbling back into the big handicap stall and close the door behind me. I'm going to have the hardest friends to enemies. Wait, what? I'm going to have the hardest friends to enemies to lovers hate sex with you. They're going to have to put Joel in a wheelchair for unspecified purposes next episode. Oscar growls in my ear. I shudder and bit his bottom lip aggressively. His hands are everywhere, aggressive and dominant, roaming far beyond my late night imagination. Oh, God, Pedro, you don't know how long I've waited for this. I'm completely obliterated by his scent, his hands. The announcer is calling out the winners, but I can't hear him. All I can focus on is shoving my tongue down his throat and my hands down his shirt. Isaac, he shuts me up as his hands palm me through. He shuts me up as hands palm me through my pants. I watched you on the BuzzFeed interview. He says in a low voice as I groan into his palm, the friction getting me off. You called me the daddiest daddies of all daddies. Now you'll find out just how daddy I can fucking be. I tried to grab his pants, my head circling over this impossible situation. I am here in the award show bathroom with my best friend who is about to top the fuck out of me. I pray my ass won't be fucked up tomorrow.
Honestly, did you write this?
I think I did.
It was giving like kind of satirical, which I enjoy.
I absolutely lived. It was the they're gonna have to put Joel in a wheelchair in the next episode for me.
I'm like
For
that.
unspecified purposes.
That was so funny.
This
You
is
better
so
work.
crazy.
Whoever wrote that, what is their name again?
Um,
YN Jones? Work.
Ryan Jones, you better slay diva. Okay, I think you should do the what is it called? The undead and the revived.
Here it is. The Undead and the
You guys, this
Revived.
one, like, I was reading these last night and I sent this one to Yasmeen and I was like, in all caps, I'm like, this is absolutely insane because this is like a fan fiction of a book that is well revered by a large population of the world. But I'm just not going to give you much context besides that. And I'll
Yes.
let
And just
Yasmeen.
don't get mad at me, okay?
Yeah, okay. I'll let you take it away.
I didn't write this. This person who wrote this is named Crackety Wackety.
That's us.
That is literally us. Okay, so Edward softly brushed his hair out of his face. You look beautiful like this, darling. Jesus blushed and hid his face in his hands, which proved to be useless because of his scars. I still can't believe we did this, and right at the end of the world. I truly wish we had done this sooner, especially since you have to go back soon. I'm so sorry, Edward. I tried to convince my father. I really did. But he's stubborn. His father? If you haven't caught on yet, his father is God.
Yeah, this is Jesus Christ, you guys.
I'm so.
And Edward is Edward Cullen from Twilight, also to give you context.
I can't handle it. Jesus put his head on Edward's naked chest, comfortably listening to the silence that has long since replaced his heartbeat. I know I have sinned a lot. I attacked, I lied, I killed, but I would give up everything I own and the rest of my soul to be by your side. You are not the only sinner in the world, Edward. Look at me. I also sinned. Right now, here with you. He leaned in for a kiss. And I wouldn't have it any other way. He watched as Edward's cold, bloodthirsty eyes slowly closed. Edward accidentally bit Jesus' lip when they heard a loud noise coming from behind the barricaded door. The loud thud shook the room once again. They found us! They hurriedly got up and went to grab their weapons. Only they were nowhere to be found. What the fuck? We're dead! Edward tried to look for anything to use, but there was nothing. The abandoned house was empty. After one last thud, the door and everything in front of it fell to the ground. Out of the doorway came a man with leather boots and a trimmed mustache. Pedro Pascal, I knew you couldn't just leave us alone. Calm down, Cullen. I come in peace. Edward stood in his fight stance, baring his white, sharp fangs. You fucking undead bastards have been here for way too long. It's time for us living folk to take the world back. He raised his gun, pointing it straight at Edward's chest. Your bullets can't hurt me. You're right. Edward heard a splashing noise coming from behind him. But holy water can. Edward fell to the ground in immense pain as the cold liquid touched his naked skin, effectively burning him in the deepest layers of his body and tearing through his very soul. Jesus! He screamed through the pain. Why would you do this? Why would you leave me? Jesus stepped forward, placing a soft final kiss on his cheek. Because you're undead, he stood up, and I am revived. And scene. Joke's on you, honey.
Yeah, I read that one last
wild.
night and I was like, there is absolutely no way that a person on the internet sat in front of their computer or phone or whatever and clickety-clack typed this little like fan fiction out of Edward Cullen, Jesus Christ, and Pedro Pascal.
That is some bonkers ass shit.
I'm
honey.
like, this is a trifecta I never knew that I needed, and I don't think I wanted, and I don't know if I still want
I
it.
still don't know, but like I can't quite figure out how I feel about it, but I'm glad we read it.
I'm also very happy that we read it too. This one, oh, okay. Wait, what? Okay, this one, you guys, is just so bananas. This is an Andrew Garfield one. I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to get to all of them, just because I literally sent Yasmeen like 15 fan fictions. But this one is just so crazy. So this is a spoof off of a moment that happened on television, and I'll read it and you'll know what I'm talking about. This one is about Andrew Garfield, by the way. We're changing gears. And also, you're going to hear the name Stephen in reference to Stephen Colbert.
So random.
Stephen and Andrew had been friends for years, But tonight was different. They had both been at a party and had ended up alone in the living room. The music was playing softly in the background, and Stephen couldn't help but notice how close Andrew was standing to him. Do you want to dance? Stephen asked, feeling a little nervous. Andrew smiled and took Stephen's hand, leading him to the center of the room. As they began to sway to the music, Stephen felt like he was in a dream. Andrew was a great dancer, and he couldn't help but feel a little giddy as they moved together. As the song came to an end, Andrew pulled Stephen closer and whispered in his ear, I've always wanted to do this. Stephen felt his heart skip a beat as Andrew leaned in and pressed his lips to Stephen's. The kiss was gentle and sweet, and Stephen couldn't help but melt into it. When they finally pulled away, they were both smiling and laughing. I had no idea you felt that way, Stephen said, still feeling a little dazed. I know, me neither, Andrew replied, looking a little sheepish. They spent the rest of the night dancing and talking, and Stephen couldn't believe how happy he felt. He knew that this was the beginning of something special, and he couldn't wait to see what the future held for him and Andrew. As the party came to a close and they said their goodbyes, Stephen couldn't help but feel a little sad. He knew that he would be thinking about this night for a long time to come, and he couldn't wait to see Andrew again. As they hugged goodbye, Andrew whispered in Stephen's ear, I'll call you tomorrow, okay? Stephen smiled and nodded, feeling like he was on top of the world. He knew that this was just the beginning of something amazing, and he couldn't wait to see where it would take them. It's been a long time since the night of the party, but the memory of that dance will stay with them forever. This was entitled Just the Two of Us by Mafia Kane CK Iego. I don't know, you guys. I can't read the title. But that was about Andrew Garfield and Stephen Colbert. That I think they kissed on Stephen Colbert's show one time, and I think someone decided to write a fan fiction about it.
That's right. I do remember
Um,
that. Because I'm like, why does this feel like it should happen in real life?
I
Because it
yeah,
did, but
because it
obviously
did.
not as romantic as that.
Yes. And I was looking up specifically Andrew Garfield fan fiction last night, and I was like, this is so crazy. I'm like, not Stephen Colbert, you guys.
Listen, I kind of would love to see it.
I would
Like, I feel
too.
like he would be like a really nice, like,
Gentle lover.
yeah, with Andrew specifically. I
Yeah.
just feel like it would be sweet and cute because it's
Aw.
unexpected.
Like two gentle lovers.
Yeah, like you better work.
You
They
know
should.
what? That's true.
Yeah, if you're listening to this, Stephen Colbert or Andrew Garfield, maybe you guys should try to kiss again and maybe go on a date.
Okay, I think you should read this. We're gonna switch to High School Musical. This one's called "You're a Hot Mess, I'm Loving It." Hell yeah!
Okay, I have it right here. Okay.
And the author is Hillbilly Leprechaun. Hillbilly underscore Leprechaun.
All right. Troy and Gabriella are seniors and have broken up, yet they are playing romantic leads and ad hoc. Ryan learns all of Gabriella's parts and is her understudy. He then replicates the locket he notices she always wears. He recreates the locket with the help of iron and fading metal, painting it gold. This is giving stalker. Like, that's
Yeah.
weird. The girl begins wearing the fake after Ryan trades it in the green room.
He duped her.
Yeah, he really did. She asks her mom how the necklace looks, but the woman is busy. And she says it looks splendid. It's giving good heavens. I've
Good
just
heavens.
combusted. Another inside joke. So sorry. So Gabriella keeps wearing it, even though it makes her itch. It's unknown why it itches, which she tells Taylor. Taylor thinks it's just nerves stemming from having to kiss your ex on stage in front of a lot of the school. The night before the show, during rehearsal, the rash grows, and so does Gabriella's anxiety from what Taylor said. Halfway through practice, she screams and runs away. Troy, can you imagine, like, halfway through, like, actually rehearsing, and then you
be
just
like,
start screaming?
"Wah!" and run away.
Like, that's kind of wacky, but, you know. Troy cluelessly watches her leave, but he shrugs. He can't run after her because he's her ex, after all. On performance night, Miss Darbus announces that Gabriella is at the doctor's and Ryan will fill her role. He happily joins Troy on stage, though he uses great theater skills and pretends to be distraught over her leaving so suddenly. Taylor asks if Gabby is okay, and Miss Darbus says that it was a common rash mixed with anxiety about tonight. Taylor might have noticed Ryan's smug expression had she not been looking at her feet for giving Gabriella anxiety. The performance goes very smoothly. Ryan correctly kissing Troy all 5 times. They awkwardly kiss excellently, as Troy had no idea what to do. Later in the play, Ryan sneaks a kiss and runs into the wings, with Troy expertly staring back because he forgot that happened in the play. The third kiss came during the characters' argument, and the angry kiss was very heated between the two actors. The fourth one was one of apology, huh? And the fifth was given with, huh? So sorry. And the fifth was given when Ryan's character was in a hospital bed and he recovered from his illness. After the curtains were drawn, Troy gave Ryan a kiss. The play's over, Troy. And it's a shame, he nods. You kiss way better than Gabriella. Want to go to practice for the next play? It's giving like gay awakening.
Oh, absolutely.
I kind of, I'm down for that one.
Absolutely. And then I'm going to end it on this one because this one is truly, truly bananas. This one is going to be graphic sexual. So it's not that graphic, but it is, more graphic than the others. So trigger warning now. It's called Everybody Does It. Lila Bell is the author. Troy Bolton is not gay. Never has been, never will be. But he, like every other 17-year-old boy with a goody-goody hot-ass girlfriend, is so ready to blow his load that it isn't even funny.
Oh my God.
And Chad, well, he's in the same goddamn boat. It's homecoming. They double dated. Chad got as far as skimming Taylor's boob under the dress, but over the bra. She's nearly slapped him for it, but he thinks it was worth it. Troy actually felt Gabriella's hand on his cock. It was through 2 layers of clothing and only for a half a second before she blushed and yanked it away like she burned it. But still, he felt it. They've dropped them off at their doors. Chaste kisses were exchanged. And now the pair are holed up in Troy's room, whispering to each other in the dark. Her nipples were hard, man. Hard as rocks. She fucking liked it. So why the pissed off act? It doesn't make her a whore if she lets me play with her titties. Like, this is a level of fan fiction that me and Yasmeen were reading while we were driving, by the way.
Yes.
And this is how we are reacting like while driving in traffic.
Yes.
Dude, she let you slip your hand in. That's a whole hell of a lot more than Gabby let me do. She gets twitchy if I rest my hands on her ribs too long. But didn't you say that she touched your... Yeah, but I don't think she did it on purpose. Fuck. Yeah. There was a long pause and then an almost whispered, I'm so hard it hurts. Me too.
Oh my goodness.
She's fucking lucky I love her. Otherwise, I wouldn't put up with this bullshit. Troy snorts and Chad punches him hard enough that Troy knows it will leave a bruise. Like, you aren't even thinking the same thing? Another long silence and then the sound of skin slapping skin. Oh, for fuck's sake. What? I'm horny.
Oh, so he's like doing the deed in front of him?
So am I, but you don't see me... You guys, content trigger warning, trigger warning.
I am beyond.
But you don't see me beating my meat, do you? I wouldn't mind if I did. What? There's a rustle, footsteps, and then light snaps on. And then a light snaps on. 2 pairs of eyes lock, and a smile slowly spreads across the lips of the already naked boy. It's not like we would be cheating on them. I mean, last time I looked, you don't have a pussy. And besides, I don't love you. Every eyelashes flutter. I love you. Fuck you. Fuck you. A shrug, sigh, and a pair of dingy boxers drop to the ground. You guys?
This is insane. This is so
This is the
straight
finale.
but gay.
Oh, this is like every straight, like there are so many straight men that I know that kind of behave like this. You guys, it's actually crazy being on the other side. Anyways.
Oh my goodness.
A bottle of lotion is unearthed from under the bed, passed from one to the other, and then dropped onto the floor. There's a tense moment where 2 hands hover awkwardly over cocks that don't belong to them. Then hormones take over and moans fill the air. When it's over, Chad flops onto his sleeping bag and smiles lazily at Troy. Don't worry, I'll still respect you in the morning. Troy tosses a sticky wad of tissues at him, beaming him upside his head. Chad rages about it before hurling the wad back at him. This goes on for far longer than it should. Then Troy yawns and Chad bitches about the light. They settle down and soft snores fill the empty air. Troy thinks for a long time before he finally manages to drift off into sleep. He's not gay. He never will be. Ryan Evans is just as freaky and weird as he ever was, and kissing him is still as repulsive as kissing that dog of his sister's.
Oh,
But even still, he wouldn't mind what went down tonight happening again.
okay. I have no words for that one. That was so insane.
You guys, that is, let me tell you, not that that's happened to me in my personal life, but there have been mutterings of things like that happening in my life. And I'm not going to go into any further detail, but like straight men do behave like that. And they're like, ha, I'm not gay, man. Ha, ha, ha. Well, like, cock, man. Let me see your fucking cock, man. Ha, I ain't gay. Like, it is so that energy. It is actually bananas. So
That is so fucking wild.
that is going to be the wrap up of the fan fiction. I'm sorry there are way more, but like, I don't want to keep you all for hours upon hours upon hours. If you want a part 2 of this, I'm absolutely would love to indulge. If you want like a smut reading, we can get into that too with more graphic things. If we want just an episode of that, let me know. I'm here to please you guys and give you the content that you want to listen to. So let me know what you guys think. But that's going to conclude our fan fiction for the episode. So we're going to wrap this episode right on up. So we obviously went through our hot takes. We talked about driving in traffic. We talked about the dogs being out. We talked about washing your ass. We talked about all the above. Please go back and listen to the episode if you choose to do so. Okay. So with that being said, I'm going to leave you off with a final question, Yasmeen, for the episode. If you had to do one thing for the rest of your life, which would you rather do? Would you rather serve cunt or would you rather slay boots?
Serve cunt. I feel like that's the obvious answer.
Okay, absolutely. I was kind of thinking that too.
Yeah.
I think in my mind, serve cunt is like a persona versus slay boots is like an attitude.
Absolutely. You definitely got it right on the nail, baby.
Period.
Yeah.
I think we're here to embody the persona and to live the attitude. But if you're embodying the persona, there's no need for the attitude because it's already coming through.
Exactly. And like the two of us, we already know we serve cunt. So
absolutely.
It was
on
truly
a silver
easy,
platter,
on
diva.
a silver platter.
With a
period.
lid.
Oh
too,
yeah, with like
we
the
unveil
room
it.
service lid. Yeah.
With gloves.
Oh yeah, with white gloves. And a white button up.
Absolutely. And a tuxedo.
Yes.
Because
a cunty one.
Absolutely. Because we serve cunt ferociously and fiercely.
And we don't even have to try, honey.
Not even at all.
Not at all.
And imagine not serving cunt. How embarrassing for you.
That's embarrassing.
Huh. Well, anyways, I hope you guys have a great rest of your episode. Yasmeen, thank you so much for being here today. Everyone give a studio round of applause for Yasmeen finishing her fucking master's degree over here. Miss Master.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to have come on the pod.
I'm so happy to have you here. And I'm now just thinking about it. Me and Yasmeen are seeing Beyonce together with Dania. The three of us are going to have an evening. And obviously Beyonce is a huge point of this podcast, you guys. We love Beyonce. So with that being said, we're seeing Beyonce on a Monday. This podcast comes out on a Monday. So I'm going to plan, don't hold me to this, but it is in my planner of my brain. The episode after we see Beyonce, I will have Yasmeen. I'll try to have Dani if she's here. She probably won't be.
Yeah.
But I'll have Yasmeen. We'll have Imani. We'll have my friend Daniel. And we'll have my friend Princess if he sees I think he's seeing Beyonce. We'll have all of us here and we can all just jibber jabber about the concert. Because
that sounds amazing.
I know we're all going to really, really get our fucking bags.
It's one of the, it's going to be the highlight of the year. I'm so excited.
So, wait, you'll be in Italy for that.
For when? Oh, I leave 2 days after to go to Italy. Yikes.
I mean, maybe if we film it the day after.
We
who
could.
knows? We'll see. We'll see what happens. But that's planned in the works. But Yasmeen will be back on the podcast. Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here, Miss Devo. Is there anything you want to plug today? Instagram, TikTok, anything like that? Or just anything you want to say?
You know what? If you want to follow me on Instagram, you can. I'm not very much of a Instagram girly, but it's y.aselk. And I am on private. So if you do decide to follow me and I'm not feeling you, I might leave you pending. But that's just me being honest. But like if you're a girly pop and I like you and I see that you're friends with Parker, I'll add you back.
Slay.
And yeah, I don't think that's anything else I want to say other than I love Parker Griffin so much. And as he mentioned, he is my family. We are family. He's my bestie. He's my borther. He's my sister. And he's the motherfucking best. So if you are not listening to his podcast regularly, you should, because he's literally the best thing that's ever happened to the podcast world. So work, diva. And I mean that because I'm his biggest fan. So
And you heard it here first, divas. Well, I hope you all have a great rest of your week. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, whatever day you're listening to this podcast. If you are interested in listening to more fan fiction, go back and listen to my Josh Hutcherson one, because that one was written for me, about me, with Josh Hutcherson. It's crazy if you haven't listened already. So dive into that episode, and I will see you all next week on the next episode. Have a great rest of your day, and be kind to everyone, because everyone deserves it, okay? All right. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Mwah. Thanks again for listening to this week's episode of Parker's Pointless Podcast. If you enjoyed this podcast, please leave a review. Share this with a friend, or both. Can't wait to chat with you all again next week. This is your host, the daintiest doll in town, Parker, signing off. Bye.